were trained. Were you trained by Black Bart?
Yep, that's. I mean, the ring still said it was a world-class ring, and the ring even said world-class championship wrestling on it. It had like the picture of like Von Erich with the claw and the guy, but the show itself was not called world-class championship wrestling. I think the show was called CWA, although the ring said world-class championship wrestling. I think maybe the program might have said that said CWA or something like that, but it was the company. It was the last company to run in the Sportatorium. It was CWA, I think it was called.
What were you doing down there, or were you living down there?
I was in the Army, and at that point I was stationed in Fort Hood. They invited me to come up to the Sportatorium for a tryout. And and the Army was paying the bills. I never had any ambitions of wrestling or anything like that. But I thought, well, this is pretty cool. I'm in okay shape, or so I thought. I'll go up here and go to the Sportatorium, and I'll be in a wrestling ring, and there'll be real wrestlers, and this will be kind of cool to say I did it. And wrestling schools were a lot different back then. Back then, nowadays you just pay so much a week or so much a month, and it just goes on for whatever certain amount of time, and then whenever the agreed upon time limit has elapsed, you then proclaim yourself a professional wrestler. It's kind of string you along to get all this money, but when I got in, you had to pay a bunch of money all up front, and they beat the shit out of you to try to get you to leave because they already had your money. Now your problem is you're sticking around, so they wanted to beat your ass as bad as they could. And it was a pretty hefty sum. It was 4 digits, and then some I had to pay just for this damn tryout. But I knew that, and I said, well, the Army's okay. This will be kind of fun to go do. And then at the end of this tryout or whatnot, they asked me if I was coming back next week. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to tell these guys I'm not coming back. Yeah, sure. I'll see you next week. I'll be back again next week, guys. And I said to myself, I'm just going to keep coming back until they tell me not to come back. And, a few weeks went on, and I was being able to handle myself a little bit better. Then a few more weeks went along, and the next thing you know, I'm the one beating people up. It was a lot different. I think it was maybe 6 weeks before you can even get in the ring. They just have you on the floor, doing like leg locks and hammer locks and wrist locks and bear hugs and, learning all these moves, all the holds and the counters and the reversals and the blocks and all that. And it was a lot different. So I was fortunate enough to get a very good course of the basics when I started.